During the preparation of this episode with I Said, we learned of the passing of Erik Rico. Erik was a popular independent vocalist and musician with many credits dating back to the 90s. He was a frequent collaborator and close friend to our guest on this episode. If you're not already familiar with Erik's work, it is worth your time to explore not only his work as a solo artist, but his many collaborations with artists including Mark Mack from For Hero, Ron Trent, and DJ Spinna, just to name a few. On behalf of the Truth and Soul podcast, we offer our sincere condolences to his friends and his family. And may our brother rest in peace.
Never thought I'd say this, but it happened to me. After years of playing, I found my destiny. Turn my gray skies blue, keeps me happy. Nothing I won't
do. And we're in. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, we'd like to welcome you all to the Truth and Soul podcast. I am your host, SB, and your other host is
tREBLEFREE.
That's right. And this episode, we have a guest joining us. He is a songwriter. He is a musician. He is a vocalist. He is a producer. He is an engineer. He even masters records. So, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I would like to welcome you to our guest today. We are having a conversation with I Said.
Hey, what's happening, everybody?
All right. Now, my first question, sir.
I'm listening.
How do you like to be referred to in normal, everyday conversation?
Said. I even use my government name. You know, I got a ha-ha story. I went to London, right, for the first time, my first trip to London. And I knew a DJ that's out there, and he had me go to this party, right?
Mm-hmm.
I go to this party, and I guess he had his crew there or whatever. I don't know nobody now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I get out there, and I see everybody, and I get circled.
No.
I get circled and I say, yo, my name is Cedric. I know who you are. I said, you wrote this, you worked with headhunters, you did this, you did. I said, what? They ran my whole resume down.
What?
Right? I wasn't expecting none of that. I just said, I'm Cedric. That was the most scary and hilarious thing that I've experienced in my life.
We first became aware of you. You put out a single called Love ... Meaning.
Yes.
Okay. And if I recall correctly, that came out around 2008. Am I right?
That is absolutely correct.
How did this thing with you and music start?
Baby. I'd say toddler, if that's the case. I remember back maybe I was 2 or something like that, and I used to have this blue jean portable turntable record player, and Stevie Wonder was my one, and I just always remember, and I have always had a fascination with labels spinning on the turntable.
Yeah, I think that's what gets a lot of us as kids.
Yeah, so I had a crazy and Tamala was it for me.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So with that, yeah, that's my memory, my first memory of it. My father would play a lot of music all the time, so maybe that could have been, well, everybody played music, so I was influenced. I guess I just loved it from that point on. Now me getting to the point playing, I always was playing by ear. I listened to everything, from the funk. My brother was listening to rock music. He would listen to a mixture of everything. So I had the mixture of everything from pretty much the start. Now we grew up in a hood, right? And that's weird listening to rock music in the hood, you know. And I'm talking about like we talking about the 70s, 80s. You know, the funny part about that is that some teachers would say, well, you're too advanced for me to teach you theory. My high school teacher actually had me do theory. So I learned how to do music and even wound up conducting an orchestra one summer.
Okay. Oh, that's heavy.
And I enjoyed that. That was it for me. So strings is my thing. I love strings. I love string arrangements and all that stuff like that. And I studied a lot of people that would do that, would have that. You know what I mean? So.
Okay. So after the keys, did that lead you to any other instruments? Guitars,
bass, drums. I'm not the best at it, but you know, I can keep a rhythm. Vibraphones, I used to play that.
Really?
So I pretty much can play whatever that I can get my hands on.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll make it work.
What led you to make the jump to making your own music?
I've been doing it all the time.
Oh, you were doing it the whole time?
I was doing it the whole time. Yeah. I saw that Stevie written, produced, arranged, all that stuff. I wanted to do the same thing.
So we talk about liner notes.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
And seeing that credit, that written, produced, arranged, performed, seeing that type of credit is impressive. It sparks something in your mind if you're a musically inclined kid.
Correct.
Do you remember what your first recordings were like?
Man, I got different stages. So I say around about 10 to 12, I'll say that I would record me playing the Casio. I don't know what I did with those tapes, but that's a kid, right? Then from, I say 8th grade on up, I had a friend that lived up the street and from me, and he had an Ensoniq. But the funny part about it is that he would not necessarily let me play it or produce something on it because he was like the Teddy Riley of the neighborhood, right?
Oh, okay.
So he would basically, I would give him some cassettes and like whoever that was out at the time, and he would let me, I guess, produce him to produce what I wanted. When I went to high school, they had a keyboard there. They had a Roland D5, I think. My teacher would let me stay after school and work on music there, and that's what I did. And that's how I pretty much started building my production up.
Do you remember what your first serious piece of gear was?
Kurzweil K2000. Saw Stevie Wonder on the brochure, and I said, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. This Kurzweil was my MPC because I had a sampler in it.
Okay.
And that time and all that stuff like that, I had limited time. I think I had maybe, I want to say 15 seconds.
Oh, man, listen. I had an SP12, not a 1200, but a 12. That joint had 5 seconds.
The Kurzweil K2000 was my production, period. And it led me to go to Atlanta and maneuvered myself around during that time period. And people heard what I was doing and all that stuff. And then I wound up coming back to St. Louis, and then I went to school, and I was trying to juggle all of this stuff, going to school, trying to do music, getting a job and all that stuff. And then I wound up, after that, I graduated, but it took me a long time because I was really trying to get into the music business like that. But things really did not jump until I moved to Los Angeles after I graduated from college.
Now, was that a conscious decision, or you just found yourself there, or?
I had a choice. I had two choices, either Los Angeles or Philadelphia. Now, during that time, Philly had the Black Lily.
Yeah, it was jumping. Mm-hmm.
And it was jumping. So it was going to either be there or it was going to be Los Angeles. Now, after I graduated from college, I got a job offer out there. TriMart. Is it TriStar? It was TriStar. I was doing editing for their films and TV shows and stuff like that. They merged with Universal and they cut me out. Not even. It wasn't even 2 months. They moved me out there. I got there. I started work. I wound up doing temp jobs and all that stuff. But in the same token, I was still trying to figure out who I could link up with and all that stuff like that. But that didn't work until I started working for Disney. So I did the first season of Big Brother editing, and then I did Fear Factor. Oh God, I did Fear Factor. And then I started doing television. I was doing editing and stuff for that for a while. But I started running into people that was doing music.
Okay.
The circle of people, I'll say, wasn't where I wanted to be, because then I wound up interning over at Hidden Beach, and then I wound up working there. And that wasn't a good environment that I really wanted to be in as far as what I was doing. I love Jill Scott, though. I will say that. But I don't think that was the environment that I wanted. I wanted to be more, at that time, I call it the alternative. So like the JD or J Dilla, all of that stuff. And here's the crazy part. When I was working at Hidden Beach, they would get all kinds of stuff coming in. I got those Dilla treats, volume 1 through volume 4. Okay. I heard it then. Dwelle, he had a volume. I want to say he had around about 6 CDs that was over there. And I mean, Madlib and just everybody. I would hear all kinds of stuff coming out of that place, but Hidden Beach didn't want none of that. Wow. Rejected it. So that remix of Jill Scott A Long Walk that Madlib did, that he
You're here, I'm pleased. I really dig your company, your style, your smile, your peace mentality. Lord, have mercy on me. I was blind, now I can see what I came to hold. Baby, I feel free. Come on and go with me. Let's take a long walk.
You know what? I'm gonna say this because I got questions that we need to go back.
And I'm gonna tell you this. There's 3 versions of it. It's 3 different versions.
I know. I've heard 2.
Yeah, there's 3 of them.
Oh my God, I heard 2 of them. I used to work at KCRW in 2003. Okay, so yeah,
all of them.
Yeah, with Garth Trinidad and I was just a board op, and I used to do editing and stuff like that for radio. And so Garth Trinidad actually let me listen to the CDR he got from Sony Hidden Beach at the time. And it had 2 of the Jill Scott remixes and 2 or 3 of Madlib's remixes for Glenn Lewis's Don't You Forget It.
Yes.
But then the one he did that sounded like one of his Y&Q joints, Yesterday's New Quintet, I was floored. I said, oh my God.
And they rejected it.
I don't know why.
They rejected it.
I'm so mad about that. because
they rejected it. That's the reason why he bootlegged it. I don't blame him.
Listen, it was ridiculous. To this day, I still have it. As a file, I keep it because it's so dope. Hidden Beach really wasn't too great about doing remixes for Jill.
It wasn't too. I'm gonna push it even more. They weren't great at being where things were at the time. Because what I felt, and I'm gonna tell you, I learned a lot from that place. And it's not me hating on it or nothing like that. I really learned what to do and what not to do with my experience there. Because like the stuff that was progressive that was jumping off, I'm just like, dude, like anything that of J Dill, they should have called JD for something.
Okay.
But he wasn't having it. It's just like, and it was a bunch. Martin Luther was there. Stuff was there. I'm trying to think of who else, but they just wasn't on it. They was. Well, I call it that they was on the rich yacht music, black yacht.
I was going to bring that up. I was going to say maybe they were shooting for a certain demographic with that.
I took it there.
And that's a demographic that's not so much tuned into what Madlib and Dilla are doing. I think they were kind of going for, like you said, the cruise ship.
Yeah,
a sector of black folks.
Love folk.
Yeah, black folks who had things, who had homes and a 401k and and things like that. People upwardly mobile black.
Upper echelon.
There we go.
Okay, so let me ask a question real quick, Sayed. So and I'm not asking this to be messy, but hopefully it won't go that direction. Steve McKeever, was he the head of Hidden Beach around this time? He was the head tastemaker of what's going on then?
Yeah, he was the main one. I mean, he was the face of it. He had another partner.
Okay.
He was a lawyer as well. And I think it was maybe 3 of them. One was probably like under the main 2. So it was Steve and another guy. I can't even remember his name anymore.
Okay. Well, see, I'm gonna tell you, this feels confusing to me because with the little limited knowledge I had back then, and even now, seeing Steve McKeever run Motown for a brief period of time, and so many great reissues come out under his rule at that time. When I saw he was doing Hidden Beach, I was like, oh, okay, this might be about something. And the fact that Jill was his first artist or his flagship artist, I thought that was a major thing.
But you got to remember, that wasn't Hidden Beach. That was A Touch of Jazz.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
That was Jazzy Jeff and them. You got to remember, she was already popping off before that album came out.
True. Yeah, true. She was, because she had, by that point, she wrote You Got Me.
She was with Common. She did a joint with Common. She was already on tour. She did Rent. She did all this other stuff. So she was already popping off before her album came out.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
When she came out, remember Hidden Beach had this whole thing about word to mouth and all that stuff like that. The word to mouth was already out because she was with the Roots them anyway.
Yeah,
true.
So, I used to talk to the marketing guy there, and I'll say this: I learned something from him. I can't even front, but the word to mouth runs out, and I think that's what it got to be something else to keep people engaged.
Keep the momentum. So swinging it back around to your career trajectory.
Okay.
You said that you learned what to do and what not to do while there. So if you want to expand on that a little bit.
marketing, the first thing is that the word to mouth. You got to figure out what you're going to do to keep people engaged. I'll say that. Audience, when you have a label, I mean, I get it that he was or they were shooting for a particular demographic, but you cannot X the young people out of that.
True.
You see what I'm saying? And I think that was one of the things that was happening. Even like with Jill's later records, it started sounding older. Like it almost like in some jazzy, it was going that black yacht music thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, but that was one of the main things that I did learn. It's like you just can't X out the young people. Get what you doing. You can stick to doing that, but just give us something.
What was your next step from there?
After I left there, 2006, I'm gonna tell you, I would jump to 2006. Black Spade came to Los Angeles, right? He came to Los Angeles before then, but when he came out in 2006, he knew all the people that I wanted to be around. He knew them already because that dude knows anybody.
He's from St. Louis as well, right?
Yeah, he's from St. Louis. All right. So I used to produce all of his earlier stuff before, and I knew that he was just talented. So we worked together, and when he came to Los Angeles, he was with the crew, the Soul Tie crew. So that's where I met Coultrain. So I was already out here, but I was always coming back to I said out here. I was already out there, and then I came back here to St. Louis in the summers, and I met Coultrain. And I heard him before I met him, and that dude was just amazing. So I met that through Vito, but then Vito would be around Heavyweight. Have y'all heard of Heavyweight, the art gallery? That isn't I guess it's still in Melrose. It may be, I don't know, but all kinds of people would come up through there. That's how I met Dame. That's how I met I met different artists. I met J1. I met some of everybody during it. So when I got in that period where it was the do-over on the small joint.
The do-over sounds familiar.
The do-over was basically Stone's Throw. So two of the guys that used to work for Stone's Throw through that party, and it would be cracking, and I would meet everybody there, and I mean everybody from I met Dame at Heavyweight. But
okay, real quick question. So when you say Heavyweight, are you talking about that HVY8 thing?
There you go.
Okay, I'm lightly familiar with that. And then my other question real quick. So then 2006, is this when you're starting to formulate what would become Move Next Music, your imprint?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
I did that simultaneously because no, I didn't. I had to Move Next before the whole Hawthorne Headhunters thing happened. What became Hawthorne Headhunters?
Now, dig it. Let's stop right there. Okay. Around about this time frame, in Los Angeles, in Southern California, a scene was starting to develop.
Man, oh man.
And for lack of better terms, this was kind of your alternative R&B scene.
That's where I wanted to be.
And the avatars of this scene were Sa-Ra Creative Partners.
Mm-hmm.
And so you see them, you see Jay Davy, you see Miguel, and then later on we get Thundercat, and then even later on we get Anderson .Paak out of that scene. So I was kind of observing from the corners of that scene. And did you find yourself in that mix?
I was all up in that mix. Absolutely.
That's dope.
All up in it. And like I said, I was a part of it because of I give it to a heavyweight. All the people would flow through there. I met some of everybody through there. And then that's when it snowballed into me working with Shafiq and all of that other stuff later on down the road. But yeah, it was heavyweight. And that was the space that I wanted to be in because I loved the music that was coming out of that. I wasn't happy over there at Hidden Beach because they wasn't progressive.
They didn't have an edge.
Yeah, they didn't. They wasn't progressive like that.
Now I always wondered about this. So I think it was it Vans? Was the company? It was some company, and there was a air quote contest that you won. And
oh, you talking about Converse?
Converse, right? Vans.
Yeah,
Converse is what I mean.
Yeah,
it had to do with some shoes. Yeah. And so, with you winning the contest, what you got to do was do a session with Om'Mas from SoundCloud. Okay, and I was like, well, I kind of looked at it sideways. I'm like, they know who that cat is. Yeah. He's not.
I known Om'Mas before I knew the rest of them, right? So, and this was long before that Converse thing because Black Spade knew him from New York.
I was like, this is not some dude off the street. They know each other.
No, I knew Om'Mas. I knew Om'Mas because Om'Mas will talk to anybody. So when we did the Converse thing, we already knew each other. We already had worked with each other.
I know it's forever. I know I found mine forever. I know now it's forever. And it's an everlasting ending.
During that time period, I believe I was in the Shafiq band, that in Africa thing. Okay. So I was a part of that. So yeah, no. And I'm gonna tell you, when I did that Forever joint, man, that was probably, I felt, like you wish that you was in a time space. It felt like Shaka Khan and Rufus and all of them was there when I did that. Now it could have been I was smoking, so that could have been. But I felt like I was in that time period. Everything was just magical, and that song right there was probably the most magical joint that I had done. As far as a song was concerned, and then when I won. Om'Mas and I all went to New York and we did what we did with what became Wildest Dreams.
Take me to the stars, girl, take your time. Do we love right now? Even if it's for the moment, can we love right now? Yeah, love is like a roller coaster. Might as well dance the night away, even if it's for one night. So love me always. I can't love you forever.
Now I will say I usually work fast, but in that session, it wasn't fast at all. It was only one song that I came out of on that trip.
Okay, a quick question. So this Forever joint that you're talking about, is this the same song that ended up being on your 2016 album?
Yes, absolutely. We did The Wildest Dreams in New York, but I did the rest of that album right there in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And I'm forgetting All in My Mind. Because
we'll get back there. Trust me.
Okay, then. Okay, and because I was supposed to, from that Love Meaning record, just to get back to that, I was supposed to have released my album. Then what became All in My Mind. But
now we talked about this before the break. Me and Trev, we talked about that. So that song wasn't on the album. Okay, so you can kind of walk us through that situation.
Right. So what happened was a halt with the Love Meaning in the album because Coultrain put it on his Seymour Liberty album in Japan.
Oh, is it?
Uh-huh.
Huh. Okay.
So that's the reason why you got on All in My Mind the harmonies on the end, because those are the same harmonies that's in Love Meaning.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The outro joint. So it was a gap between me doing that All in My Mind and that Love Meaning. Why? Because I started working with other people.
Better cut me loose, so be prepared to face the consequences. Cause you could turn into an obsession. Your play is so clever, a damsel in distress. Gravity pulls me in your direction. The unfortunate truth, the bad timing is that it walks up on you without warning. And it's too late to change the course of all that's happened. I'm much too deep in it to avoid the fact that love still has a meaning. So long ago love had lost meaning. You prove that love still has meaning. So long ago love had lost meaning.
Started working with Hawthorne, or what became Hawthorne Headhunter. Of course, me, Train, and Vito had Black Spade had already worked with each other because we're from St. Louis, right?
Talk about Hawthorne Headhunters. Get into
so that. How Hawthorne Headhunters, that name or whatever, that collaboration was a Black Spade and Pro Mike initially, and then they asked. Then Train got aboard, and then they asked me to be aboard, right? So that was just the reason why I wanted to do it, because I wanted to work with my brothers. That's Black Spade and Coultrain. Pro Mike, I really didn't know him, so what I learned as far as personalities and stuff like that, when you don't have that kind of rapport with somebody, you're going to kind of get friction because you really don't know that person. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what happened with when Pro Mike was in. For me, I'm going to speak on myself. We really just didn't know each other, so we didn't really get along.
Getting out her prey from windowsill. This paramour has finally met her man. Good better go down, not making a sound. My sweetheart, the drum, he is facing the ground. Her revolver in hand, her revolver in hand, her revolver in
we did that EP, And I'm telling you, that was the Renaissance. I call it the LA's Renaissance.
That's a good way to put it. That's a very good way to put it.
Because everybody was coming out. We knew Jay Davy. We knew all of these people that was coming out. Out in that time period. And the how I got into the Shafiq thing, and see all of this is what put the whole gap from Love Meaning to All in My Mind, right? J1 wanted me to be a part of that in Africa ensemble. Mm-hmm. Now, I already told Shafiq this story anyway, so it's nothing. Wouldn't be nothing new. When I heard that album, I didn't care for it.
whoa! The Shafiq in Africa.
In Africa,
really?
You know. So Shafiq's.
I'll be honest with you, and just a little personal side. I'll be honest with you. That was the first Sarah related album that I could get into.
Yeah, so J1 thought I was stupid. Man, you don't know what you listen to. And me and him got into him. Me, him, and Grow Wise would get into it, right? Mm-hmm. I said, y'all can do all of this shout and match all y'all want, but I'm telling you what I'm hearing, and I don't care for it, right? The thing with Shafiq's production, I'm talking about on that in particular album, I don't know what I'm listening for. I don't know what beat I'm listening for. Now, when we did the band thing, that was great because I know what we was listening to. But he has 4 or 5 different drum loops running. Which drum loop am I supposed to be listening to?
Say it, bro. I feel vindicated.
It was confusing.
It was, because I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I was confused with it. So, and I told Shafiq this. It ain't nothing that he doesn't know, that he didn't know about. But when I did the band thing, the band was amazing. And I'm telling you, we had some of everybody in that band. We had 2 drummers, J1. Man, I can't remember old boy's name because he started playing drums for Aloe Black. I can't remember his name. There was I'm done went blank on everybody's name, but if I saw them, that's how I met Jimetta Rose.
I love her.
That's how I met Jimetta Rose, was through that. And that was the most hilarious thing.
I meant to mention her earlier, but go ahead though.
That was the most hilarious thing that now is hilarious. It was a guy there that was a keyboard player. How come I can't remember names right now? But basically what happened was that they was rehearsing with this keyboard guy, and he had 2 or 3 weeks to learn the music, right? Everybody told me that he was the reason why they couldn't even do a rehearsal. Because he didn't know the music. So it was just, people was ready to fight up in there. And I didn't like it either. And I'm just like,
He was too cool to learn the music. I mean,
I don't know. You know what? I don't know if he was just a super high dude because he was a airy kind of person. He just was here and there. So so basically, J1 wanted me to be in this band, and he wanted me to be in it. So he said he did draw this whole football plan. He drew this whole football plan of me being in this band. He said, "This is what you gonna do," because we had a rehearsal hall downtown Los Angeles. So he said, "This is what we gonna do. We gonna you gonna go and bring your keyboard. You gonna set it up and you gonna play." But so we did that, right? Set it up, and I played with everybody. Now, mind you, I never listened to that Shafiq album all the way through because I didn't care for it. Y'all know that, right? Okay, so I go in, everybody start playing, and I play along with them. Chords, if I hear it, I got you. If I hear it, I got you. Oh, you playing that? I got you. So what wound up happening was that everybody told me that was the first time they had a full rehearsal. Because the other guy would never get it. So then the guy was the other keyboard player was right down the hall because he had his own rehearsal space too. Okay. So once when they heard me play with them, they got rid of the other guy.
Oh wow, that will happen.
Yeah, so it was hilarious how it was done because then, of course, Shafiq shows up late, 3-4 hours late, and but the manager at the time was there, and she was like, "Oh, would you consider doing?" I said, "Yeah, I'll do it. I don't got nothing else to do." But everybody was happy. You know, Brian Martinez was the bass player. And it was just everybody. I'm talking about Computer J was the other keyboard player. You know, so I had all of, the whole crew. Now, mind you, J1 and Computer J was part of the Dame Funk band too, right?
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the Master Blaster, that's what they called themselves at that time.
Okay.
So all of us knew each other, but that was the first time I met Shafiq and then he came in, he's like, Master Teacher. And then they heard me play. We went through the whole set, and mind you, I did not listen to that album at all because I didn't care for it. And we went through it. They said this is the first time. Now they was all excited because Brian was like, "Man, I think I might quit. I was gonna quit the band today."
Oh, wow.
That's how bad it was. So I'm just like, well, I'm glad that you didn't. And then we started doing shows and stuff all over. So that was the reason why. So going back to it, that's the reason why it was a big gap between the Love Meaning record and All in My Mind.
Real quick, speak to Kenaudis Smith and him basically working on See More Liberty and how that connects to you and everything.
So the only thing that has a connection, and Kenaudis is, I'm telling you, is one of them dope beat makers. Period. Period. I thought, I felt like Kanye West must have jacked him because he's from Chicago too.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. So he was a part of the No ID, that whole clan. He was a part of that. So it just felt like Kanye must have jacked him one way or the other during that earlier period of his career.
Okay.
That's not far-fetched at all. That happens all the time.
All the time. I mean, you know what Stevie Wonder says it best. You know, all these folks still want to sue people for this and want to sue people for that. That was during that whole Pharrell and
Marvin Gaye
issue. He's like, man, everybody's jacking everybody.
What led you back to your own thing when you could finally put together All in My Mind?
I'll say what Angela Winbush said. It had to circle back to me. Had to.
I can dig that.
Yeah, it had to. All in My Mind, I wrote that for Coultrain.
Oh, really?
That's the reason why I sound like him on that song, because it was supposed to be him singing it.
What happened?
He like said, "You sound good on it. You sing it." And I said, "Man," I said, fine.
I heard your song on my homegirl show. So my girl, Morgan Rhodes.
Morgan! I was getting ready to say, because Guard Trinidad didn't really play my stuff like that.
It was Morgan's show. Morgan had a show on, I think it was like Saturday, Sunday. It was like really late.
I love Morgan, man.
Yeah, that's my girl. I love her.
She's one of my day ones.
God, thank you so much for supporting the listening station. My name is Morgan Rhodes. Have yourself a great Sunday.
Was it on KCRW, Score?
No. It was on another radio
KPFK,
station.
right?
Yeah, KPFK.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's where I heard it.
I got more support on that side of the tracks than I did over there in Santa Monica.
Oh, wow.
Now, Garth would play Coultrain, Black Spade, and all of them, but he wouldn't really play me like that.
Interesting.
Wow.
That's very interesting.
And Morgan was my day one, and J-Rock is my other one.
Really?
Absolutely.
J-Rock is the shit.
You better believe it and believe it. They were the main ones that supported my music. Period. I mean, I'm just saying that. I used to have I'm just like, man, why don't they like my stuff? Now, when I did Angel and released that, Garth thought I was trained. So
really?
That's why he played it the one time. But then after that was it. He wouldn't play my stuff.
That is interesting.
Can I say this to you? And this is definitely not a diss at all. And I hope it don't come off as such. I have a hard time differentiating your voice from Coultrain's.
That's a compliment. And the reason why I'm gonna say that, because I feel like Train is anointed. That voice that he got is just it's an anointing with it. It feels familiar, and it just he knows how to use his instrument.
Well, in all truth, I think that's a compliment as well, and I mean it as such.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, in preparation for today, I went back and listened to the one album of yours that I have, which is the What Are We Looking For?
Oh,
and nice. Yeah, and the production, bruh. Whew, bruh. The production all over this shit is ridiculous. But but vocally, I'm like, he sound like Train.
But you know what?
What is this? I'm like,
here's the funny part about all of that. Everybody says that all of us sound like each other. There's Vito, because the style. We are from St. Louis. That's one. Number two, all of us is influenced by the same people. Period.
That makes sense.
So I mean, it wasn't, because you got to remember, Train writes to my music. My music is already done. So whatever that comes out of it, it comes out like that. But I have been singing the way I've been singing all the time. And not to do a tit for tat and just say that, but I'm just meaning we never did it like that, if that makes sense.
Well, I'm going to tell you why it makes sense, because in my mind, personally, the single that the two of you guys did together, Wandering Act and The Wanderer and Balancing Act, I needed a whole album like that shit right there.
Died to be wiser, but what was that proof? A worthless souvenir I couldn't live through. Oh, maybe this never was meant to be. Maybe I'm a part of another lifetime thing.
I wish. I like I said, I love Train to death. That's my dude. Period. The dude is just extra talented. Period. I can't even say nothing more than that.
But no, on your own vocals, and I didn't even think we were going to get into this, but part of the draw for me when I heard All in My Mind, what made it stop me in my tracks, part of it was the vocal delivery. That's a gorgeous vocal, brother.
Thank you.
It's ethereal, and it matches the mood and the message of the song perfectly.
Pay no attention to the world we're living in. Riding high with no mission, but love I have within. Don't worry about tomorrow. Our time has come today. Sing your song with sound decisions as the world spins faster into another space. Is it all a dream? Is it all in my mind? Is it all an idea? When I look into your eyes.
Yeah, and like I said, I thought that it was for Train, and I said, Train, I made this for you because I hear you singing this, right? He said, you sound good on it. You put a Norbit on me. You do it. So I'm just like, okay, well then I'll leave it at that.
Now this album, because we'll get back to what are we looking for, but this album, All in My Mind, your debut album. Okay, so at the time this one came out on Record Breaking.
Correct.
So that's Junior out of Philly.
Yeah. Right.
All right. How did you make that connection?
He reached out to me on MySpace.
Wow.
Hey man, it was for more than just romantic hijinks. It was you could do some serious networking.
Yeah, you did. So what I did when I had got Love Meaning, I started sending records to different DJs all over. I was just shipping it out. That's how I know Daru. That's how I know. I know so many DJs because I was going on MySpace. And I asked each DJ to give me your address. So I think that's how I got connected with Junior. And he reached back out to me like, man, are you going to put anything else out and all that stuff like that? I said, yeah, I'm eventually going to do it. Man, you good and this, that, and the other. And I said, okay. So I was happy that a label was even interested in me at that time to put something out. Because I wasn't getting no bite. So I put out the single, is it Another Look at You? That's the name of it. And then I put out All in My Mind. So I had a single out first. Basically, it was like a DJ set thing, production. And then I wanted to set All in My Mind, the album, like that. Sample based, beat knocking, Every other track would have vocals on it. I just had a concept for it. And the homie Graham Hayes, he did all of my album covers, and he would listen to the whole thing and come up with these concepts. And I still work with that dude to this day.
Okay. One song I wanted to mention off of this record, that kind of is one of my favorites off the record, is Soldier Ready to Go Home.
Ooh, that was a dark period. So that was
that's probably why I identified with it.
That was a dark period, bro. Like LA, I'm gonna tell you this. LA made me grow up as a man, right? I was going through it hard. Homeless, this, that. Yeah, Soldier Ready to Go Home. I'm tired of all of these, this, that, and the other. And Dotmatic sent me that track. Dotmatic from Philly, he sent me that track, and that was the first thing I thought about. I was like, man, this shit is hard. So I'm going through it. So let me write this out. And that was the track that I wrote it to. That was a hard period when I did that song.
I've been running on this ground for far too long. I've been running on these parts here in paranoia. I hear voices going all around me. I've been walking on this ground and I'm feeling tired. The soldier ready to go home. I've been in this war for far too long, too long, too long, too long.
Yeah, the truth of it just reached out and grabbed me. Just a backstory. So both Treb and I, we both lived in. We did the sojourn in California too. Trev was in you was in Inglewood, right?
Yeah, Inglewood.
I was
2002 to 2004.
I was up north. I was in the Bay Area. I was in Oakland.
I love Oakland.
It was
Oakland,
cool, man.
I'm going to tell you this. Oakland reminds me so much of St. Louis. It's ridiculous. There's a connect between the Bay and here in St. Louis.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah. Too Short used to come to East St. Louis all the time.
I can see that.
Man, so many people from the Bay would come. St. Louis was the place that they would come to.
Wow.
So but it's just like when I went to the Bay, that's when I realized, that's the reason why they always came here, because it's familiar territory to them. Because that's how I felt about Oakland. It felt home. I don't want to go to San Francisco. Y'all can have all of that, them hills and things. Keep me over there in Oakland.
Yeah, I stayed in Oakland. I only went over the bridge when I needed to.
Dude, I can't stand that bridge. That's yuck sauce. I can't stand that bridge, dude. Like, you know how long that bridge is, and people be stagnant on it, and it's a double decker too.
Yeah, going on the way back. Yeah, you got that double decker. Yeah,
I don't like that at all. I said, either I fly over to San Francisco or I'm not going. Yeah, but I got a chance to experience Oakland, man. That was my place. But I lived all over the place. I lived in Hawthorne. That's how we came up with. That's how the name Hawthorne Headhunters came up.
Hawthorne, California.
I lived in Hawthorne. We did the project in Hawthorne.
God damn it!
I read that.
God damn it! It didn't click until you just said it.
I lived in Hawthorne. I lived in Long Beach. That was my dream place, Long Beach, because I was like 3 blocks away from the beach. And I was diagonally across the street from Roscoe's.
Oh, wow.
Like, I was literally by the pier over there. So,
okay.
That was my place. Burbank was my other place. I love Burbank.
Okay.
No, I lived all over. Inglewood too. When I was there, I was working. And that was the other struggle. I had to work and pay for the music. Get a place. And that's the reason why I would always be, and as an artist, we got our creative minds. So that's how I would have a place, and then I don't have a place, because I always wanted to put it into my art.
Right.
You know, and that was a struggle. So that's the reason why I was going all over to these different places.
So dig it. Now, in between All in My Mind and What Are We Looking For, there's your second album.
Yeah.
Visions.
Visions was an EP.
I was just about to ask you, do you consider it an album or an EP? Because it's shorter than both. Okay.
It's
all
shorter.
right.
You know, what I did for that, because I felt bad not putting something out immediately. So I wanted to put something out. And the Visions is what came of that. But I wasn't too proud of it like I was with What Are We Looking For and all, you know, the full-length albums, you know.
Why is that?
Rush job.
Ah, okay.
I felt like, you know, it just wasn't what the full projects were.
Okay.
I thought that I was making like something that was gonna be great, and I thought it was gonna be great, like, you know, it'll be shorter, but it would equate to like the full lengths, but I didn't feel like it was strong like the other projects that I put out.
I can do that. Okay. Now on this record, on the Visions EP, you linked with Leon Sylvers the Fourth. So how did that happen?
He heard my version of Nobody Jones on SoundCloud.
Okay.
And he reached out to me. I was like, oh, dope. You know what I'm saying? And then not long after that, that's when I met his father, Leon the Third.
Okay, so you did get to meet Leon the Third.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And you want to hear something funny? Like sometimes affirmations. I said one day I am gonna meet Leon Sylvers the Third. I want to meet this guy, right? But you gotta be careful what you ask for.
Uh-oh.
Nah, but I'm gonna tell you, this was a positive.
Okay.
meeting.
Okay.
It was a positive meeting. Dude, he's critical about things, but rightfully so. Absolutely, for the things that he has done, he accomplished, period. People that he put out, you know what I mean? So I paid attention to him and I listened. You know, he actually, you want to hear something funny? He actually listened to my whole What Are We Looking For album. And he went through it. He said, that's a hit. That's not a hit. That's not a hit. That's not a hit. That's a hit. You know, and I'm just like, I didn't come here for you to critique my shit. I love my album. You know, but that, you know, after that, he really I felt like he really respected me after that. And he called me one time. I was in London, and he's like, "Said, you out there in London, you gonna fly?" I said, "Wow, I got Leon Sylvers the Third telling me this." I'm saying it in my brain. I'm not telling him none of that. You know, I don't like giving nobody the big head. So it's just like, wow, this dude told me that I'm gonna fly. You know, and I just, like I said, I just really respected him so much that that him telling me something like that just kind of moved mountains for me. And I did good over there in Europe, in London. I went to London, Paris, and Amsterdam. And Them folks know who I am. He wasn't lying about it. And what that opened me up, and I have to thank Erik Rico for that. Because Erik Rico kept telling me, like, said, you need to go overseas, you need to go overseas, you need to go overseas. And I'm just like, man, who do I know overseas? Who am I gonna stay with? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, said, you just need to go. You just need to go. So when Before What Are We Looking For came out, that I went on over there. And I went there just no plan. And you know, that was the best trip I made. Going over there with no plan. I didn't know who I was gonna stay with. I didn't know nothing. But I'm telling you, the universe will take care of you if you go on faith. And that's exactly what happened. I had a place to stay throughout the whole time I was there. The 2.5 weeks that I was there, didn't have no problems. But what it also opened me up for is like, you know how things are when you have the tendency of saying like, I'm gonna make this music for here, or what's gonna make it pop here and all that stuff like that. After a while, I had a period where I wasn't happy with the music that I was making just based off of what was popping here in the States. I couldn't keep up with that. And on top of that, I didn't care for it. But when I went over there, man, they opened me wide open. And I was like, man, my stuff will pop over here, period. So it just really expanded my mind about setting those type of limitations to just one space. You know, I can go to Africa, anywhere in Africa, and my stuff will pop. Or I can go anywhere in Japan and my stuff will pop off. I can go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So that's what, when you set those limitations, you don't, it's just, yeah. So now when I make music, I make the music that I like to make, and it doesn't matter, whether the folks here will like it or not, because somebody's going to like it. You know what I mean? Somewhere in whatever space that is, it gets exposed to.
See, I think you've actually nailed the best part of being an artist, is finding your voice and then believing in your voice. That's something that a lot of artists don't. They'll spend their whole artistic life trying to get there, and you got there. And I think that's important.
I think another part is knowing your purpose. See, I'll tell you.
Hello.
I've always known that I wanted to be a musician now, or a singer, or producer, or whatever. But the problem for me was getting there. I didn't know how to get there. St. Louis definitely didn't have nothing to offer for me. So that's the reason why I told you earlier it was either Black Lily or LA. And it just so happened a job called me to come to LA.
Right.
But I knew what I wanted to do. I always knew I didn't want to do TV and all that stuff. I want to do music. I already knew that. But it was just I was going through all of these different avenues to try to get there. And, sometimes it panned out and sometimes it didn't.
Now, so we've been talking about this off and on the whole conversation. So I noticed that from All in My Mind, Visions to What Are We Looking For, there is an artistic leap forward, at least in my opinion.
Okay.
And like Treb said earlier, that album is tough. Okay. So take us inside of that album. What was it like? Yeah. What was it like making it? How did you feel during that time? What was the inspiration? All that. Let's get down.
What Are We Looking For was Glendale. Now this was towards when I just moved to the Glendale. And that was it was a lot going on at that time. J1 passed away. me finally getting like a independent place. I started meeting more people, Michael Frankie and all these different, old school folks. And I'm not going to call him old school because he's still doing it. But the music and the sound, like I said, the Forever. Let me see. I think I did Go Hard and what are we looking for? Because my cousins moved in with me, Marcus and Leon. So Marcus is in Get Out. He's the one that's running.
Oh, really?
That's my
your cousin. Okay.
Yeah. So they moved.
The dude plays the gardener.
Yeah, the gardener.
Okay.
Him and his brother moved with me because he had just graduated from Yale. Mm-hmm. And he decided to come out there to live in Los Angeles, but him and his brother lived with me. So that's how he was on What Are We Looking For? Mm-hmm. I told him I want you to write something to this. I gave him kind of the explanation of what I was going with it.
The answers in which we search from birth are a secret, only to be told by time, all in the mind or the illusions we share. We sit and stare until the blur becomes focused. Hocus pocus, but it's not like magic. Sometimes it's tragic, the treasures we find in the world, diamonds and pearls. A wise man once said, grieve not for the living or the dead, cause never did I not exist, nor you, nor the rulers of men. One can't pretend to know all the answers, and those who act like they do are the spread of this cancer. Enhanced are my senses to seek truth, love, and light. So to sleep I go, good night, to awake to a new journey, but if not, alright.
I did What Are We Looking For between Glendale and Burbank, because not long after that we moved to Burbank. And that's how I got Quelle Chris and all these other folks, because Quelle was also living with me too.
Oh, okay.
So all of these people started coming around, and all of these folks are pretty much family. You know what I'm saying? So, but that album, it was different moods. It was different rides. The last song on that album was This Is Not a Farewell, right? It took me 2 years to do that song because it was about J1.
If anybody was looking for him, what's his real name?
Javon Coleman.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his real name. And that also helped me flex my arrangement skills with the strings and all that stuff that was in that. I needed something to do that, and that was the one for me. The funny part, Forever, Om'Mas ran into somebody and asked a random person, "Do you play strings?"
Wow.
So the guy took forever to do it. He said, "Yeah, I play it," but it took him forever to get that. Mm-hmm. Literally, the name of he was the title of the song.
Okay.
And then Om'Mas the next day brought Thundercat in to play the bass on it. I missed the session with Thundercat being on it though. When I heard it, I was like, "What?" I said, "Thundercat want to play on my stuff?"
I'm surprised you hadn't met him already.
Oh, we met because we was in the Shafiq band.
Okay, all right. I was gonna say.
We met. We met. The only person out of Sarah that I have not met to this day is Taz.
Really?
Never met the man.
Interesting.
We probably been in the same room, but I never met him. We never spoke.
So this album is a major I guess signpost in your career. What was the reception like to this album after you released it?
It was slow here, and it was great overseas.
Okay.
What happened here was that I had a marketing person do it, but he did it as quick as the stuff came out, it fizzed. So he kept telling me, you need to do a video, you need to do this, you need to do that, and all of that stuff like that. And at that time, I didn't have the resources of doing a video for anything. And I really wanted to, because I know how to direct and do all that stuff too. But I just didn't have the help, the team, you know what I mean, to get this done. So it just fizzed here. But I was able to perform at the jazz club out there in London. I was able to go to Tottenham and perform.
Are you talking about Ronnie Scott's?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Damn. Okay. That's not lightweight, brother.
Right. That's huge.
That's the reason why I said that it opened me up about limiting myself to just the States. You go somewhere else where the love is, and you will get it. You will receive it. And that's where I'm at with it.
Why am I searching for love when the one's here within me? Why am I searching to find? Why can't I see it in me? So how can I love when I didn't feel nothing within me? Learning the meaning of so I can be.
There's another period of years before your next release. What's going on in the aftermath of the What Are We Looking For album?
I was working. Had to go to work.
That's a reality. Whenever someone hears that one of your favorite artists works, people are all shocked and stuff. That's been going on for
Ever.
forever, since the music business has been here.
Yeah. I mean, people like us have to work to pay for our art.
Yeah.
And that's just the bottom line. And the crazy part is, Helen Martin, who used to
yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you see the part where she was like, I work. People don't like to work. That's how she would say it. People don't like to work. Yeah, I was if I didn't have a job, if I didn't have be in this film or whatever like that, I was a telephone operator. I was working at such and such. She laid it out there, and I just said, I'm glad that I'm not alone. That kind of thing like that. But yeah, I was working, and then I started working on a project, dude, a rock project.
Wow.
In London, right? So I was flown to go to London to work on this rock project. The first part of it, I did the production. So like getting the band, I knew someone that got the band together. I replayed what the demo that I had for it, and then we replayed it, and I produced it. Right? Then I bring it back to the artist that it belonged to, right? And then I came back to St. Louis because that's when I had to start caregiving for my mother.
Okay.
But then she asked me to come to Los Angeles to finish the album up. And we went to Los Angeles and finished that album up. I had a ball in London doing it. The credit that they gave me was I was the director. What does that mean? So that's the reason why I never spoke on it. But I'm going to tell you this, though. What that project did, it opened me up to other genres because I never did a rock album before.
Okay.
That was the first time I did a whole rock album. And I've dealt with sitar players and and you know, all of this kind of, it was great, and it was in my element.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, that was the other project that made that major gap. So once, I'll wait till you get ready to go to the next project, but that opened me up to wanting to do other type of genre of music.
Well, let's talk about it.
Okay.
So the next project is Interpretations from 2020.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I wanted to do with that was I wanted to take it back to the music that I grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, of course, I work with Dame Funk and all of that, but the commonality that I had with Dame was that we both grew up to that music. Mm-hmm. Now, I will tell you this, during the 90s period, of course, that fizzed off because hip hop kicked in.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I was a hip hop fan,
mm-hmm.
but, and a beat head on top of that. But once when Dame brought that thing back, you know, it just reminded me of my whole